So today we're going to talk about some little known facts about Starbucks, but that's actually coming tomorrow. Today we're going to talk about the American actor Tom Cruise. Now, one thing that you probably don't know about Tom Cruise is that that's really not his complete name. As you can see above, it's Thomas Cruise Mapother. I think that's how you pronounce that. Thomas Cruise Mapother the Fourth. Kind of like Nicolas Cage. Everybody thinks that's his name. No, his last name is Coppola. He changed his last name so you wouldn't think that he got where he was via nepotism. But we all know it's one big club, you ain't in it, and these people are. Now, one thing also you might not know about Tom Cruise is that his cousin is also an actor with the last name of Mapother, and he's been in 5 of Cruise's films. Now, why does this mean anything? Well, they're not lying to you. It's out there what his last name is, but he doesn't publicize. That Cruise is his middle name, not his last name. Here is Tom Cruise and Katie Holmes' wedding. Well, where do you think their wedding took place at? This is probably something you haven't heard until now. Yeah, that's right. CBS News reported in November 2006 that Cruise and Holmes are expected to, and they did, marry in the Orsini Odescalchi Castle. Now, where have you heard the term or the name Orsini before? Well, it's one of the black nobility families from Venice, Italy, from back in the day, those banking dynasty families, right? Like the Maximus clan, like Breakspear, Farnese, Aldobrandini, all those families. And then there's other people online who have done the kind of forensic genealogy to prove that Orsini actually is Rothschild. That, the Rothschilds changed their name. You thought the Rothschilds were originally the Bowers, and they changed their name to Rothschild. No, before that, they were Orsinis. So these people are always, spinning wheel, changing names, changing identities. Of course, when you or I do it, it's illegal, right? False documents, false ID, impersonating a yada, yada, yada. But when you're part of the club, you can do it without censure, Well, me and you can do it too as long as we don't get caught, but that's no endorsement to do that. Now, most people know Cruise for his iconic role with Nicole Kidman in Eyes Wide Shut, where, Stanley Kubrick directed that, and it was kind of like a wink-wink sort of nudge-nudge look into the, the Illuminati or the higher echelons of secret societies. But you may not have seen his 1985 movie Legend, where Tom Cruise meets the Lord of Darkness, and the Lord of Darkness's intention is to rule the world for 1,000 years. Kind of like, the infernal head honcho in the Bible. And so it's always interesting to study the career arc of an actor because there's so much esoteric information there too, with the hero's journey of his roles. For instance, from 1985, 14 years later into 1999, when he filmed the movie Eyes Wide Shut, Tom Cruise again meets the Lord of Darkness. This time, though, the Lord of Darkness is an Illuminatus Rex wearing the red of the Rothschilds, and Darkness's intention is also to rule the world for 1,000 years under a cashless surveillance society. Obviously, this is the author's take on it, not my view necessarily, but I get it. Now, most of you know Tom Cruise for his advocacy of Scientology, of which he joined in the 80s after his failed marriage to Mimi Rogers, who was a Scientology auditor who Cruise was, in the beginning, one of her clients. Now, in a 1993 Playboy interview, Rogers discussed her split from Cruise and said that he had been considering becoming a monk, which affected their intimacy. Rogers later retracted the comments and claimed she had been misinterpreted. I don't think she was lying. So, Tom Cruise, any of you guys who are into seed retention, if you're a man or whatever, saving your vitality, not squandering it or wasting it, know that oftentimes it's hard to be in relationships because you're at odds with the woman who typically wants to ravenously drain you of your energy because that's what sex is to her. It's not supposed to be some communal electromagnetic connection between female and male. It's supposed to be this vampiric act which, is fun for you for 5 seconds and recharges her, and then you're asleep for the rest of the day and you're down in the dumpster the next 3 days. No. And so I can believe that Cruise is like, there's more to life than just ejecting my genetics into this woman who I have to deal with every day, right? I don't know anything about Mimi Rogers, so who knows? Maybe she was an angel. I doubt it, but who knows? So that's interesting, and it always the embarrassment, because guys know that the public, the normie public, and women don't get it. They think, his testosterone's just going lower. They'll start shaming you. Oh, his sex drive's going lower. He probably can't get it up. No, That's typically not how it is. Typically when a man starts aging, if he has any sort of intelligence, he realizes, hey, I need to hold on to my mojo. I need to stop giving this away recklessly for free. So I can definitely see that, being into Dianetics and stuff like that, I can definitely see Cruz, who is totally against psychiatry and medication, realizing, hey, my fountain of youth is located in my vas deferens, and my scrotum. I might as well keep it in that holy temple, temperature controlled, climate controlled. Why push it out, Now, the final thing I'll talk about is Cruz's relationship with his dad, because I talk about, karmic debt contracts between people, Renanu Bandhana or Renanu Bandha, how it's called in Hindi. And technically, we feel these relationships the most when it comes to family, loved ones, spouses, children, anybody close to us in our life, friends, whatever. And so Cruz stated that he grew up in near poverty, and he described his father as a merchant of chaos. Wow. A bully and a coward who beat his children. He elaborated, my father was the kind of person where if something goes wrong, they'd kick you. It was a great lesson in my life how he'd lull you in, make you feel safe, and then bang. For me, it was like there's something wrong with this guy. Don't trust him. Be careful around him. So that's a little bit more about the American actor Tom Cruise for anybody who's interested in getting deeper into these people's lives and kind of seeing what made them who they are and their affiliations that they probably don't want you to know about with the unseen hidden hand, right? If you guys like this content, make sure you get down and comment if you want to talk about Tom Cruise or anything like that, and make sure you hit that follow button. We will have that video on hidden secrets about Starbucks coming tomorrow.